Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, folks. Michael Zuber, one rental at a time. We are back with the one and only Ryan Pineda. How you doing, sir?
What's up, dude? Good to see you again.
Yeah, nice to see you as well. Thank you for doing this. I have to ask. In video number two, we kind of closed with the flow of money from you. You were giving examples about a recession coming and people getting scared, retreating, holding the money tight was your analogy. I think a lot of people are going to do that, but I'd love to hear about Ryan. Right? What's Ryan going to be doing in this environment where, frankly, I've been through a couple of recessions, and I think there are just gigantic wealth moves coming. I know Grant's doing a distressed real estate fund as an example. But I think there's huge opportunities, right? Where there's great pain, there's great opportunity. And I'm excited, but I wanted to hear from you.
Yeah, the recession is going to have a lot of different opportunity. I can tell you this, we're looking at it in multiple different ways, right? I've told all of our students that the hardest part during this is going to be the transition, right?
Mhm.
So, I've kind of been prepping like, hey, this was a few months ago. Hey, I was like, hey, the next 6 months or so are going to be really rough. That is what it is, right? Because basically, like we're talking about, the flow of money is going to stop.
Yep.
People are not going to want to buy houses. But the other thing is people don't want to sell either. And so it creates this like gridlock of nothing happening. People eventually are going to want to start saving and not spending as much on different products and services. And so it makes the transition really hard until you get out of it and until people start having confidence again in the economy. So, how do you get through kind of this tough period is going to dictate whether a business succeeds or fails.
Hmm.
Now, most, not most, but a large percentage will fail.
Yeah,
That is
many.
what it is.
Yeah,
And
many.
for me, I'm looking at this in multiple ways. One, okay, first off, let's take inventory of my own businesses. Which ones are weak right now? Which ones are strong? How do we continue to make the strong ones stronger? How do we patch up the weak ones, right? I'll give you an example. Right now, the house flipping company would be a weak company. We're sitting on tons of flips. I think we got like 40 or 50 flips. And,
Yeah.
you know, a bunch of those will lose money. It sucks. And there's not really anything I can do about it other than continue to sell them off, keep some as rentals. It's going to suck. And it is what it is. On the other hand, I've got a bunch that are going to be really strong. I've got Wealthy Investor, which used to be called Future Flipper, and people are going to be coming wanting to learn how to get into real estate investing and take advantage of this. We've got Wealthy Creator, which used to be Content Empire, which is teaching entrepreneurs how to create social media content. You and I both know social media is massive for our businesses, and
Yes.
entrepreneurs are going to see that as a way to generate more leads and traffic for their businesses as other sources dry up. And so I think those two are in a really strong position to go and crush it. And some of the, whatever, just to give a couple of examples,
Yeah.
but taking inventory of where we're currently at in the businesses and then saying, okay, what's the plan during this transition to either shore them up, as in the house flipping company,
Mhm.
or really go on the offensive for the other ones? Because everybody right now will be in defense. Almost everybody will be in defensive mode. And so if you're one of the only companies going on offense, then you're going to have a massive gap that you're going to create amongst the competition when this thing is over.
Yeah.
So I'll be doing that with the current companies. Second
Yeah.
thing I'll be doing is I'm looking at distressed assets. So, like we said, I am looking for real estate, just like every other real estate investor. I think there's going to be amazing, great deals. I'm looking to take some property subject to. I'm looking to, obviously just get great deals that have a lot of equity in them. So real estate will always be there, and
Mhm.
we're going to be ramping up our efforts not only just on the single family side, but the multifamily side as well. There's my daughter behind me. And then they just woke up. So, and then the big thing that we'll be doing is acquiring businesses. And so this
Ooh.
was something that was not on my radar ever until recently.
Wow.
I mean, I know other guys are doing it, guys like Cardone and Hormozy and Cody Sanchez, my friend, they've all been doing it a long time. But I just have always been like, well, I've started every business I own. Like, I'm
Yeah.
really good at starting businesses. And I like owning a huge majority of it because I started it.
Right.
But man, there's going to be a lot of great opportunity with businesses that need my help and need whether it's my influence, whether it's our processes with marketing and branding and sales, like we could take companies that already doing seven figures and really crank them up fast, and they just don't have the skill set to do it. And I think we're going to be able to acquire them for a very small amount,
Yeah.
probably free in a lot of cases.
Yeah.
And I think that's going to probably be the biggest thing that I do wealth wise
Yeah.
during this recession.
No, this is how I broke down what you kind of outlined there, right? Step one is and you're right, it's the transition that always catches people, right? I've been through a couple of cycles, and you head into this transition, you had 40 or 50 flips going, you were feeling good, you had years of success. Then the market got you, right? Rates went from 3 to 7, everybody gets scared, talk of recession, unemployment going up, blah, 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 blah. Now you look at your portfolio and go, okay, guys, we got to take some L's. Let's try to minimize what we can. Let's see what we can burr out. Maybe, keep his rentals for a little bit. Let's minimize the pain. But you don't really
Yep.
retreat, right? You say, okay, it is what it is, right? Where other people look at it and they just bitch and moan, oh, the Fed did this and Biden did that, and they want to blame outside forces. It's you. And then what you said is, there's going to be a massive opportunities. And oh, by the way, the opportunity is probably going to be in an area you haven't done before, haven't thought about, i.e. buying businesses. And you're absolutely right. If we were going to tie together these three discussions, right, the Wealthy Way book, becoming a billionaire, I agree with you. I think how you become that billionaire are by the businesses you buy, JV or whatever the partnerships are, and then you execute and you take them from X to X cubed or X, whatever, 10X.
Yep.
And
Yep.
that is going to be so much fun to watch because, again, you have a process, a framework, whatever you want to call it, that works. And,
Mm-hmm.
I think what's going to be amazing is how many businesses come to you. Hey, Ryan, I have X business, and it probably has nothing to do with real estate, but you are an influence. You are all these things, and you know how to take it to the next level. I think that's going to be just so much fun to watch. And again, I think because of all your giving, you're going to have dozens of businesses a month in very short order, if not already, coming to you going, Ryan, can you help me? And you're going to have the pick of the
Yeah.
litter. That's what I see coming.
Yeah, and it's already happening in just the very little amount of time I've talked about it, and just announced like, hey, this is our plan for 2023. Like, oh well, how do I, what are you looking for? What's the criteria? And I'd be interested, and it's already happening, and I don't even have a website for it yet. Like
It's
we
really
have
early.
yeah, because I'm focused on building out our internal
Right.
processes first
I
to
see
handle
that.
all this flow.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, like we're starting Pineda Ventures. Like I have the domain pinedaventures.com, but
That
it's
makes
not ready
sense.
yet because I'm not trying to do it yet. I couldn't give people the service that they're going to need. And so, yeah, it's funny because it is going to happen.
Oh,
And
yeah.
when you look at businesses, it's funny because like you and I have both, made our careers real estate investors. And like, we get so jazzed up about getting a good property under market value. It's got 100 grand in equity. It's going to cash flow a couple $100. Maybe it's an Airbnb and it makes $1,000. And I'm like, bro, these businesses I buy can go make $1 million a year. Like if I just do it right,
Exactly.
like,
Exactly.
so if I'm going to put my effort into acquiring more real estate or acquiring more businesses, count me in on getting all these businesses that, by the way, I don't even have to get debt for. I don't have to
Yeah.
I don't have to do anything. It's just significantly easier. And so, for me, my strategy to becoming a billionaire, like you said, is start, businesses like I have, acquire businesses like I'm going to, take all the cash that those things spit off and just keep buying more real estate.
Yeah. That's,
That's the plan.
that's, yeah, that's very much kind of, legacy Grant Cardone, right? Busts his ass selling, this or that, stack cash, stick it in real estate. He goes broke every year, he talks about. And, I think Pineda Ventures is going to be the thing that, you're already famous now. I think a decade from now, you're Mr. Wonderful on Shark Tank or whatever you want to be. I think that is going to be, you're that next generation, right? You're 33, right? 33.
Yep. 33. Yep.
And it's by the time you're 40, I mean, and you're putting it all out there for us to watch, not hiding behind some, corporate paywall or something. So that's
yeah. Well, and and one thing I want to add too is that I do want to do this to show people that you can achieve, whether I become a billionaire or not, doing it the wealthy way. Because a
yes,
lot of people have
exactly.
asked me, they're like, hey, dude, I get it. You live this way now because you got employees and all this stuff going on. But were you grinding this way when you were broke? And I'm like, to be honest, I've kind of always been this way. Like it just organically has happened. And if you followed me the last couple of years, you could see it
You
just
got
keeps getting.
receipts, man. The receipts are there.
Yeah,
There's
the
no
receipts are
question.
there. And if I do this the next 10 years, living the wealthy way, and I achieve
Exactly.
whatever I want to achieve, it's like, you guys saw it. Like, you don't have to buy into this narrative of
Yeah.
you have to grind, 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 and ignore everything else to be super successful. Like, I'm living proof. So that's also one of my goals with social media.
Yeah, it's gonna be awesome. Uh, Again, one more time, folks, if you haven't already, go to wealthywaybook.com today. Get the book, leave them a review, so you can get the course. Ryan, any closing thoughts as we wrap this up?
Nah, man, I just appreciate everything you're doing, man. Helping people with getting financially free, making buying rentals, and dude, it's definitely a worthy cause. It's amazing to see also your book's success and how you have used that to do the podcast and everything else you've done. Definitely would love to invite you to our upcoming event, man. Would love
Oh wow,
to
I'd
have
love
you
to see,
there,
love to
and
do that.
yeah. So
I'm down.
appreciate you, man.
All right, thanks, Ryan. Take care of yourself.